Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we're gonna be working with some Slipper Orchids, Paphiopedilums, but also Phragmipediums, at least one. We're gonna try out the RePotme Imperial hand-blended orchid mix for Slipper Orchids. And I'm just noticing, do you notice on their logo there's a Slipper Orchid there? And it looks very similar to my little Repotme here anyway. So I have major issues with my bark mixes and my terrestrial mixes for Slipper Orchids. I do not have locally a brand which produces very high quality bark. I can get away with what I have, but look at this. We're already breaking down. Everything you see at the top, that's a little bit of mold. This is actually the compo medium. I repotted these orchids at the beginning of the year. These are more older slippers in my collection, and already the medium is breaking down. I'm not okay with repotting every once a year or even less than that. So I think it's time to do something about it. So I'm happy I kind of figured out the mottled-leafed Paphiopedilums care, but I do believe I need a better medium for my Phragmipediums. They did not like semi-hydro for me. I could not keep up with their watering. Anyway, long story short, I absolutely need something better for my Slipper Orchids because they're just so beautiful. I have developed such a passion for Slipper Orchids this year. I want to extend. Today though, we are going to be trying out this Repotme mix. I'm so excited about it because look at it, it looks so interesting. It actually looks similar to the medium in which Jessica sent me the Slipper Orchid. So first and foremost, let us actually see what's in this mix. So just as usual, I will link it down below to Repotme, to this medium. It's not an affiliate link, it's just a link to their website, and let's read about the product. And here we are. Of course, you have the product highlights, which ensure that this medium is well draining, and I actually do not see any peat moss or cocoa peat or anything in the bag. They also say it is great for all Paphiopedilums, Phragmipediums, Psychopsis, this is interesting, Sarcochilus, and all fine-rooted orchids. And inside the blend we have small Orchiata Monterey pine bark, this is why it's suited for fine-rooted orchids, small red lava rock, medium sponge rock, this is something new for me, never worked with this medium, and Hydroton. Okay, Hydroton is actually LECA, but the name itself belongs to a company. It is a trademarked name, so I cannot say that IKEA produces Hydroton, although the product is the same. I'm actually curious because there always appears to be a difference in quality between my LECA and Hydroton and Prime Agra and things of the sorts, which are not available here in my territory in Europe. They're more USA based, I think, so I'm really curious how they perform, how they're different. And on the page we also have a lot more information about the product and other things. I love this about Repotme. They have such big descriptions, articles, and so on. I'm thinking of something for today's video. We're going to be using this medium with the Phragmipedium as it is. I did not notice any oyster shells or anything that will provide some calcium in this mix, which for many Phragmipediums is great. You don't want to have excessive nutrients. Phragmipediums, they tend to be a little bit picky with their water quality when it comes to this, but some Paphiopedilums do require some addition of calcium. At least this is the common consensus right now. I think I saw somewhere, I just don't remember, I need to search it. Somebody was saying, yes, they grow on limestone, but this doesn't mean that they actually feed on that. It doesn't mean that they require a lot of calcium. I don't know about that. I'm just telling you the common consensus is to use some calcium supplement, and it just so happens that I do have oyster shells from Repotme. Once again, this was sent by Jessica when she moved. She sent me her orchid supplies as well. So for the Paphiopedilums, we are going to be trying this as well in the mixture with the medium, but for the frags, we will not. So here we have two product reviews in one. Before we start though, for those of you who are more advanced into Paphiopedilum care, let me know about that limestone situation, and if you know more about it, I just do not remember where I read it, and I have a bad habit of actually not saving the articles. But if you have any more information, just let us know down below. So I will start with the Phragmipedium because he looks the worst. This is the Popoe, and he has been growing for the past few months in this self-watering pot with some bark. He doesn't look good. I'm really hoping that I do still have some live roots. So let's see. We do. Actually, that's great. We do still have some live roots. Oh yes, I did have 2 divisions. Oh, and I have brand new root tips. That's so great to see. I was so scared about this orchid. You have no idea. So this is actually the compo medium. Do you see this? It's just... there's something really wrong about this medium. I don't know what it contains. It's very fibrous and I absolutely do not like it, and the orchids don't like it either. So I'll go ahead and remove as much of this medium as I possibly can. I will clean up the little table and come back when everything is cleaned. Alright, so for this orchid I will be using one of these slotted pots from Repotme. You can see we have slits all over the place, and what I like most about these pots is that they do not have holes on the bottom, but rather slits. We will talk about them in a different video. So let's just take a look at this medium and see if we can find all of the things we read on the website. I can definitely see the LECA. Looks like normal LECA. I can see the sponge rock. I can see the bark, and I saw the lava rock as well. Maybe not here. Hold on. Okay, there, I can see the lava rock as well. This is not LECA, it's lava rock. So we do have everything mentioned on their website. And again, with this medium, I'm going to be placing a napkin underneath because I don't want to waste it. I've been working with LECA for so long, and it's just so easy to pick up LECA that I forgot how it is to work with finer media. So let's just not be wasteful. And here we go. So my orchid doesn't really have a lot of roots. I can start by placing medium on the bottom of my pot. I'm also used to the horrible noise that LECA makes, and I'm trying to let the medium loose very gently, but this stuff is just so fluffy it doesn't make any noise. And this looks like styrofoam, but it's not. It's actually sponge rock. It looks really nice, you guys. And yeah, it smells like orchiata bark. I think I need maybe a little bit more. All right, and let's make a test fit. Yes, I think we are okay. We just need to arrange the roots a little better. With Slipper Orchids, I would advise you to be extra gentle with the root system, particularly Phragmipediums. If you've never worked with them, I find them to have fragile roots. The Popoe, not as much, but I have a Bessie hybrid, oh my. All you need to do is look a little bit more intense at the roots and they snap, so be careful with the roots. So I will continue to place medium around my orchid. I think I am pretty much done, so now I can take whatever mess I made and just put it in the pot, and hey presto, we didn't actually waste any of this medium. I will have to tell you guys I like this medium, and I'll tell you why from the get-go. I will probably discover many things along the way, but first impression, did you notice how buried my orchid was in the previous medium? That's not because I did a mistake, but because that medium had large pieces of bark. The Phragmipediums have the same trait as Paphiopedilums. They will not produce aerial roots. Whatever root tip starts to grow in the air, it will not continue to grow, so you need to bury it. But you have to find that fine line between burying the orchid too much and maintaining humidity around the root so it continues to grow. In the previous medium, being that the pieces of bark were just too big, I had to bury the orchid a little bit more. This had some benefits, of course, for the roots, but some downsides as well, because it was still a little bit dangerous. Yes, it was airy, but I cannot control the quantity of air all the time. So I do believe that with Phragmipediums and Paphiopedilums, it is actually better to go for smaller bark grades, and this is why this medium contains this size of bark, but it also contains a lot of things to maintain everything airy. So that's the first thing that I absolutely like about this medium. I did not have to bury my Phragmipedium. There's a world of difference right now in the level, and you can see I don't have any big bark chips sticking out. So that's great. I really like it. What I will do now is go over the sink and I will run osmosis water over the pot. These guys generally prefer very clean water, and when I say clean, I mean without all sorts of additives such as fluoride. If you live in the USA, you might have this additive in your water, and also hard water. They don't really enjoy a lot of mineral content, so it's better to use distilled water, rainwater, osmosis water, whatever you have actually. and that's what I shall be using. I will actually not soak this pot. I don't think it's necessary, and also I intend to keep it sitting in a tray of water until I find a decorative pot for it. It is a common thing to do with Phragmipediums as well, and you will see with my other Phragmipediums, they actually do work in self-watering and a lot of moisture at the bottom. It's just the medium that I don't like. So I'll go ahead and water this really quickly and come back with the Paphiopedilum. Alrighty, next up, the Paphiopedilum. I have to say I don't have a full ID for this one. It might actually be the blackjack. I don't entirely know. It is a vinicolor variety, and vinicolor simply refers to the color. Vini, or actually vin in Romanian, means wine. So this orchid does have a really beautiful burgundy wine color. This was one of my mom's favorite orchids that I had, and it means a lot to me, and I've never done good with it because I kept trying to get him adjusted to LECA, semi-hydro, even Ceramis. Did not work, doesn't like it. End of story, I have to move on with my life. So this year I potted him in a terrestrial mix. He took off, absolutely took off. The difference in color is not because of the mix, believe it or not. It is actually because of the MSU fertilizer, which we will talk in a different video about. But he absolutely finally took off. So the medium is okay, the idea of the medium. The execution is poor because this medium is bad. I repotted him at the beginning of the year. You can see we have breaking down medium. So hopefully we have roots. I think we do though. Again, with these types of pots, you cannot really squeeze them all too much. Well, you can, a little bit. And here we have them. Yes, we do have a few roots. Mind you, at the beginning of the year, this orchid had no roots, zero, nothing. So even though he's not the bravest of them all, he does have some roots, so I'm happy about it. I will make sure that I remove all of this medium very gently from the root system, come back when everything is cleaned. Okay, so I actually did a big boo-boo. I managed to snap the new growth here. It's okay, we still have 2 fans, but as I was saying, these orchids are very, very fragile. Be careful, not only with the roots, but also with the rhizome. And yeah, that is that. We shall pot them together, see how they're doing. A little mention here, Paphiopedilums actually are perfectly fine with my tap water. Most of the times I do a combination between osmosis and tap water and then the fertilizer. Also, hope you noticed in my previous mix, I did add some grit. They were crushed shells, but they were meant for birds. It's okay, they still deliver calcium and he was okay with it. But you don't necessarily need to use an addition of oyster shells or anything of the sort if you can actually supplement with calcium or have a calcium addition in your usual fertilizer. I do have it in the MSU, but I want to test out this product as well. And being that we will try it out in a, well, it is a transparent pot, although it's green, yeah, they come in colors as well, we can actually see how the roots are growing. So the medium, I'm pretty sure will be perfectly fine, but we shall see how this works and if this orchid will enjoy it. And just like with the other Paphiopedilum, I will place a layer of medium on the bottom. I have to say I watered the Phragmipedium and I just loved how the water just ran through. It is very well draining. And I had pretty even distribution with water. It will not suck up water like sphagnum moss, so I shall not expect anything like that, but I do want it to get wet pretty fast. I don't want to insist and soak the orchid to get everything wet. Now, the root system is a little bit wonky here, but we're okay. We have a growing tip right at the edge of the pot, so we shall see it grow. Oops, I forgot the oyster shells. So what I will do is arrange or actually sprinkle a little bit of this in the medium as well as I go. I totally forgot to put the napkin underneath. Oh, it is slightly late now, so what to do? And here is the Paphiopedilum repotted. I really like this medium. I think for this one I do have a decorative pot. I like to use the decorative pots just to protect the wood. I sometimes can leave a little bit of water at the bottom. Even with the Paphiopedilums, I live in a very warm climate, and the thing is the dishes just take up too much space on my shelf. If I let the decorative pots touch each other, that's perfectly fine and it just takes up less space. Okay, and here are my other 2 Phragmipediums, the Ainsworthy and the Memoria de Clemens. I do have much better success in Organic medium. Look at this leaf. This looks much better than any leaf they've created in semi-hydro. Now, semi-hydro, it is actually the preferred medium and setup for Phragmipediums for many people. However, though, as I think we've talked about enough, in my climate, it just doesn't do so well with orchids which require a lot of water, or actually moisture around the root system. I have the leaf tip dye bag, which I had a lot on these guys as well, but it stopped. The problem is with this medium, as I was saying, the execution. It does not look good, does not smell good, it degrades super fast. These guys need to be wet pretty much all the time, and this medium is simply not what I should be using. But I do feel like they are actually doing better in organic medium. As for the Repotme blend, I have to say I'm incredibly impressed. I will just go ahead and say it. It gives me hope that I can do better with Phragmipediums and that I will not have to repot my paphs every once a year. Okay, so I actually wrapped up filming day today and I did repot a few more orchids on video. I just wanted to show you how many orchids I repotted and how much medium I consumed. I repotted 2 Phragmipediums in the 6-inch pots, which are the biggest ones. I do believe they're the equivalent of the 15-centimeter pot. I'll just add the measurements on the screen because I don't want to do any mistakes. Then the next size down, which I believe it is a 14-centimeter pot, I potted another Phragmipedium, and then the next size down, 2 more orchids, and I think this is the 10-centimeter pot. And I have used about half, I would say, half the bag. I still have quite a lot of medium to go. Repotme say they generously stuff the bags. I agree. I mean, this is quite a lot. And this bag, again, I'll put on the screen the quantity or the volume, just so you guys have an idea of how many orchids you can actually pot. On their presentation page, they actually tell you a little bit how many orchids you can pot with that volume. But here you go, you have a visual representation from me as well. With half a bag, I potted all of these, and I still have medium left to play. What I don't have are pots, but that's okay, I'll find some. So I'll use it with the Sarcochilus as well. I'll keep you up to date. I'm gonna have a blast today repotting these orchids. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. Remember, all of the links to the product and everything are down below. If you've used this medium, let us know your thoughts down below just to have more reviews on the product. And with that said, you know the drill. Like or dislike this video below. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchid videos, tutorials, Q&As, and other fun orchid subjects. And if you like YouTube to notify you whenever I upload a new video, just turn on notifications for my channel. If you are curious about my other setups, just expand the description. I list everything that I use down below. And with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!